We are in the last video of plant tissues. To start with, plant tissues are of two types, meristem and permanent. Permanent tissues are further classified into simple permanent and complex permanent. The examples of simple permanent tissues were parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma, and the examples of complex permanent tissues were xylem and phloem. And now we are in the last part of plant tissues under the heading protective tissues. So as the name suggests, these are going to protect the plant. Okay, the very first tissue is epidermis. Okay, derma means skin, so the one which is present outside the skin would be epidermis. Okay, just like we have skin, of course plants do not have skin, but yes, the outermost part, outermost layer in plant body is made up of some special cells which are going to form a layer of epidermis. Okay, so it is a single layer of barrel shaped cells that covers the entire plant body. You can see here, you see the cursor, let me use pointer over here again. So see, these are the barrel shaped cells. This is first cell, second cell, and this is only one layer, single layer of cells. Okay, so these cells are going to cover the entire body of plant. It is present at the outermost level in plant body. Okay, then it protects plants from injury, germs and water loss. Okay, the third point is that the cells of epidermal tissue form a continuous layer without intercellular spaces, so that see here, the cells are compactly arranged so that nothing would come inside the plant unless and until the tissue is intact. Okay, so that is how it is protecting the plant from any injury, germs or water loss. Okay, then this layer is covered with a waxy layer called cutin. It is basically present in leaves. Okay, what is cutin? Cutin is a waterproof waxy substance secreted by epidermis. Okay, now this cutin is going to form a layer which is known as cuticle. Okay, so above the epidermis of leaves especially, we can find cuticle, which is made up of a waxy substance called cutin. Now this cutin would prevent the loss of water through transpiration. Okay, in the epidermis, especially the epidermis of leaves, the continuity of epidermis is interrupted by presence of stomata. We all know, we have seen stomata in lower standards. Okay, stomata is plural term and stoma is a singular term. Okay, so stomata are basically tiny pores present in the leaves. Okay, they are more in number on the lower surface or back side of the leaf. Okay, these stomata are going to mediate the gaseous exchange. Okay, they would mediate the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Okay, and plus they also have one more function, that is transpiration in plants. Okay, so basically each stoma is composed of two guard cells. Can you see these kidney shaped or bean shaped cells? These two cells are together called as guard cells, and these two cells are going to cover a hole or pore which is known as stomatal pore. Okay, so this pore along with these two guard cells is known as stoma or stomata. Okay, now these guard cells are going to control the opening or closing of stomata. Okay, when these two guard cells are fully swollen, they are turgid. We have seen this word, turgid, turgidity. Okay, they are, when these cell, where did we see this term? In chapter cell, fundamental unit of life. So when these guard cells are fully swollen, they are fully turgid. Okay, their inner walls are stretched out, thereby opening this stomatal pore over here. Okay, so when the guard cells are turgid, stoma is open. Okay, and when these guard cells lose water, they become flaccid. Okay, then the inner walls would come very close to each other and the stoma becomes closed. Okay, so opening and closing of stomata is going to be dependent on these guard cells. One more time I repeat, when the guard cells are turgid or fully swollen, stomata will open, and when these guard cells are flaccid, then the stomata will remain closed. Okay, now in descent plants, epidermis and cutin are thicker to reduce loss of water due to transpiration. See, basically these stomata are going to open for gaseous exchange, but it is likely to happen that the water in the form of its vapors will leave the plant due to the process of transpiration. Okay, because of because the stomata are open, the sun's heat would directly reach in, causing vaporization of water. Okay, so stomata are basically going to control transpiration and gaseous exchange. Okay, yes, so this is what all about stomata. And the next tissue that we are going to talk about, cork. Now where has this word come before? Do you remember in chapter fundamental unit of life, the very first point that we discuss is the discovery of cells. Okay, so there we have seen this tissue cork. Okay, so this cork tissue consists of dead cells. Can you see this? It is the outermost part of woody stem, old woody stem. Okay, so this tissue consists of dead cells with no intercellular spaces. It is going to form the outer layer of old tree trunks. Okay, you can see this. Cork cells have a chemical called suberin in their walls. Now this is something which is very important. Substance, a waxy substance again called suberin is deposited in the walls of these cork cells, and that makes the old woody stem impervious to gases and water. No gases and water are going to go in as well as come out of tree trunk because of presence of cork cells with a waxy substance called suberin. Now cork tissue protects plants from injuries, germs and of course water loss. Now cork, being light in weight, is used for making several products like bottle stoppers. These are the bottle stoppers as you can see here, and shuttle cork. So yes, my dear students, this is the third example of protective tissue, and thereby here we finish plant tissues.